Motivation and ministry. Those who receive material gifts in order to devote their time and effort to ministry should serve God and others with pure motives. Here now is Gene.
So here's instruction that we read in the book of Numbers, where God is giving instructions relative to this principle. And so he says this, I give to you and to your sons and daughters all the holy contributions that the Israelites present to the Lord as a perpetual statute. Here he's dealing with the Levites, who are set apart as those who are to serve in the tabernacle and to serve the people spiritually. It is a perpetual covenant of salt before the Lord for you as well as your offspring. The Lord told Aaron, who was the high priest, you will not have an inheritance in their land. There will be no portion among them for you. I am your portion and your inheritance among the Israelites. Look, and here's the specific now. Look, I have given the Levites every tenth. The Levites now were the tribe that served in the tabernacle and served the people spiritually. I have given the Levites every tenth in Israel as an inheritance in return for the work they do, the work of the tent of meeting or the tabernacle. There the tenth referred to lambs and goats and the meal offerings and so forth, which a tenth of it went to support this particular tribe to meet their needs. So there was the principle of the tithe that was established there in the Old Testament. And so consequently, we have the principle that people who are in ministry are to be supported by those they minister to. And we see that in 1 Timothy. Paul underscores this when he writes to Timothy in 1 Timothy 5. He says the elders, the spiritual leaders, who are good leaders, they're doing a good job, should be considered worthy of an ample honorarium, that's money, especially those who work hard at preaching and teaching. They're caring for you, they're teaching you, they're encouraging you. For the Scripture says, and here he quotes the Scriptures from the Old Testament, you must not muzzle an ox that is threshing grain. That would be ridiculous. Here's this ox threshing grain for you to eat, and you won't let the ox eat of the grain. So it's a pretty graphic illustration. And he says, the labor is worthy of his wages. By the way, Jesus said that as well. So here we have this principle underscored in the New Testament. In Titus, principle 8, here's the principle from Titus, which underscores this same principle from the Old Testament. As local church communities, we're to care for the economic needs of faithful men and women who've been appointed to serve us. If they're giving full time, then we need to help them put bread on their table because they're serving us. So the question is, why is it that Christian leaders who devote full time to the ministry in the church often struggle to have enough income to care for their own personal economic needs? And I can take you to churches all over the country where you have pastors and spiritual leaders who have a real tough time caring for their families at the same level as the people in their churches. Why is that true? Why don't they have enough income? Well, the answer is pretty simple, isn't it? People are not following Scripture. They are not responding. They're takers. They want more, but they won't give. They won't care. They won't practice this principle. You know, it's interesting that I've had people come to me in a church planning situation, and they said, how many families do we need in our church to be able to have a full-time pastor? I said, do you want a practical answer or an idealistic answer? I said, the ideal answer is if you have 10 families who are giving a tenth of their income, you'll have a full-time salary for your pastor. That make sense? If you have 10 families that are giving a tenth of their income, you'll have a full-time salary. And it will represent the average of those 10 families. It'll be an average salary. Usually it takes far more families to get a full-time salary for a pastor than just 10 families. See, if you have 10 families that represent the norm, you'll have people at a low income, you'll have people at a high income, you'll have people at average income, then you'll have an average salary. See, that's a principle that God established. And why doesn't that happen? Well, you know the answer. They're not practicing the principle.